Hi, welcome to Fiberchats. My name is Irina. I'm the host here, and my guest today is Julia from Kankan Hats. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Irina. How are you?
Good. Nice to have you here on my channel. So I ran into your Instagram account, and I was immediately stopped in my tracks just because your hats are so unusual, so like out of this world, basically. Tell me a little bit like how you started with felting. How did you start with hats?
Actually, it's just happened. I never had an idea that I will start making some handicrafts in my life because all my business, which I had before, never was contact with any kind of like fabrics, let's say. And I lived in Helsinki, and I had three boutiques in the center of Helsinki, where I was selling different Israeli jewelry and some French and Italian clothes. And suddenly I figured out that I would like to have some funny hats for myself. And I couldn't find anything. They were or like Goodbye My Youth or Hello or Sport or something like this. So I made first hat just for fun because one of the shops I had in the old shopping mall where were 25 different Finnish designers all together. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was a little bit already influenced by them. I had some ideas, or I started to understand how to do something with your hands. And so I tried to make one hat first. And then I was at the fair in Oslo with the jewelry, and I had this hat. Not this, but I mean, right, which I made. Then one my Swedish friend, who is the artist, she's making paintings. She asked me to sell this hat to her. I thought, no, because I even never thought that I can sell my hats. It just was a funny hat which I made for myself. Finally, I don't remember. Last day she put me into the pocket about 2,000 Swedish crowns. It's like about 250 euro. And she just stole this hat and ran away. And I decided, maybe not a bad start. And but anyway, I was not ready to start to make hats, like, let's say, to sell them, or just anyway, it was one thing which that like I decided, okay, so it was not bad. Then I made another hat, the second one. And I went to St. Petersburg because we had one boutique where we were selling our Israeli jewelry. It was very good location, Nevsky Prospect, the old mall Passage. And the lady, the owner of the shop who was selling our jewelry, she also had some hats in her shop and gloves and scarves. And when she saw my hat, she asked me, maybe you will start to make hats for my shop. I said, yeah, but they will be expensive because the material is expensive, and then I making all the time them different, and it's more my hobby than business. She said, doesn't matter. Just tell me the price. I'm not care how expensive they will be, because she said I need something different. And it was, I remember, it was 2013. And at that time, business in Russia was going like crazy.
Right.
And I was selling really a lot of hats, crazy hats, and more crazy hats were faster. She was selling them. And once I decided to take a look who is buying my hats, because it was a big like fashion fair, art trend or something, like I don't remember exactly now the name of this fair. And I was at their stand watching the people who were coming to, but they didn't know that I'm making the hats. And I was so surprised that even the normal ladies, like ladies, they were buying my hats. Because before I thought they're only for the same crazy people like me, but and
Yeah, go ahead.
so yeah, that was the beginning. But anyway, I'm not making hats too much. Maybe 7, 8 hats per month maximum. And so I have my private collection, uh, which I'm not selling. I have just for fun when my friends are coming. We're making some funny pictures. Uh, or sometimes my friends, they borrow them for some parties.
Right.
Then sometimes also I send them to some museums for some exhibitions. For example, now some hats are in Riga in the what's the name? The World of Hats Museum. So that's how it's going.
Well, how did you even find information about how to make a hat? Like, was that readily available?
Well, at first I saw the hats which I want to have at the Helsinki market. It was a lady, irinashaar. Later we became friends. Who was selling these hats, and they were really super cool. But they were too, like, let's say, for myself, because she even, I remember I bought 2 or 3 hats by her. They were too, I don't know how to explain, too strong, because I like hats which are more wearable, not just which will look cool, but you can just put it on you and you forget that you have a hat on your head.
Right.
And so she was, I understood that she was using prefelt for her hats. But I start to make the hats anyway in my own way, a little bit different, because I'm lazy and I'm all the time trying to figure out how I can make everything fast. So, for example, this way of felting, it's not for me, really. I can get crazy. So I need that this is ready. And sometimes, yeah, it depends how thick I would like to have a hat. I can make 2 layers or 3 layers or 4 layers. I can make Nuna on top. It just depends.
Right.
Well,
Well, what was the like initial inspiration for your hats? Like, how did you come up with the first few ideas?
Maybe you know what, jewelry from Israel, Lalo Treasures. It's this brand not exist anymore. It was very, very colorful jewelry, very made of resin, really so exotic. And the designer of Lalo Treasures, Orna Lalo, she was very good, my friend. And somehow I understood that I would like to make somehow hats which will match also this jewelry. And then I had and I still have, very good friend in Helsinki, Sirpa Kukkonen. She's an old Finnish textile artist who also actually gave me a lot. I'm calling her my godmother, because thanks her I start to make hats, and good quality hats, because Sirpa once said me, or you should do really good or don't do anything.
Right.
So that's I had to be, like a Finnish artist to make something forever. So that's the beginning.
Right. I mean, I saw some of your hats, like you were at some art exhibition and your hat was made matching the painting on the wall. I think it was like Vladislav Sakharuki.
Yes. It's one artist from St. Petersburg. It just happened. It was funny. I was in St. Petersburg, one of the fairs, and I had my hats with me just to make some nice pictures, somewhere the good, nice background next to St. Isaac Cathedral or whatever. And then one of the fashion bloggers told me, listen, today is the opening party for one artist, Vladislav Sukharukov. Let's go together. I said, okay. And she said, take your hat. And we were shocked because you know what, my hats, they matched so really perfect with these pictures.
That's so funny because I was sure that you made it specially based on those paintings.
And people start to ask me if the hats were made specially for this exhibition. No, it just happened.
That's amazing, actually. Like I was so sure that you based it on those paintings. Yeah. So like you're making a hat and some of them seemed like very, I don't want to use the word flimsy, but like they're not sturdy looking. Do you ever have problems with them like falling apart?
Never. I will show you, for example, one hat, my own hat, which I made in 2014. And I'm wearing this hat non-stop. How my friend Sirpa saying, from the morning until the opera. So, and you can see it's still perfect. And maybe because they're made of pre-felt.
Right.
They are stronger. Maybe, I don't know. Then I'm felting them really for a long time. It's also very important because, for example, this hat was one of the first my hats, and I keep it because it's really, let's say, like first which I liked. And to make all these fringes really strong, you have to felt each minimum 10-15 minutes, maybe even more.
So how long it takes you, like on average, to make a hat?
Of course, they will never do this because otherwise hats will be too expensive. But for me, it's fun.
Right.
I'm not care if people will buy my hat or not. It's okay. Because if I'm in a good mood, if I want to make hats, sometimes I'm waking up in the night and I start making hats. So that's how it's going. For example, I will show you this hat was made in one night. Well, of course, I'm lying that maybe one night, but during 24 hours non-stop. Because in Estonia and also in Finland, they're celebrating midsummer with the fires, the big fires. So I made this hat especially for midsummer. And then I decorated it with the antique American camel decoration, which I bought a long time ago in Paris. So that's how it's going. And
like when you wake up at night, like do you wake up with the idea? Do you see those ideas in your dreams? Like how those ideas come to you?
Yeah, I'm sleeping, with a notebook because sometimes I see some hats in my dream and I'm making drawings because otherwise I will never remember. But it's not mean that I will make exactly this later because I never know what will happen. Sometimes I have an idea to make this kind of hat, but on the end it's totally different.
Right.
And usually it's never what I want to make from the beginning. It's totally different.
Well, are you inspired by colors as well? Or is it
colors?
shape?
Yeah, that's thanks Lalo Treasures, this Israeli jewelry brand, because it was so colorful, it was so happy. I don't know how to explain you. So that's because I'm by myself a black person. I like black and I like gray, so this kind of colors. But I like to create colorful things, colorful hats, and also I'm making sometimes jewelry, also very colorful. And I like sometimes to make some really kitsch hats, which, for example, I never wearing flowers by myself, but I like to make flowers. It's really fun. I like to make some crazy flowers, some birds, for example. I will show you now. This hat, it's a pumpkin for Halloween. with a lot of different leaves. And do I have something with the flowers? Only one. Yeah. So it's a crazy flower and a bird.
Well, when you come up with the idea for the hat, right? Do you treat it in your mind? Is it a piece of art, or is it like you think it's gonna be a hat? Like, do you have a purpose for the thing that you make? Do you want people to use it as like?
You know what? I'm a hat person, because before I had an ideas to make some scarves or bags, but on the end, scarf was a hat, bag was also on my hat. So everything what I'm doing, it's a hat. And it doesn't matter, it's wool or what, it can be the piece of wire, it can be any kind of fabric, it will be the garden net, I can make a hat. So I really not care what kind of material, but it will be finally always on the top of my hat.
Well, if people live next to you, will they ever spot you outside without a hat? Like, do you ever go out without wearing one of your hats?
Well, most of my friends, they remember me and they recognize me only thanks my hat. You know what? Now I live in this tiny Estonian village because about 6 years ago I left Helsinki and I bought an old school. It's almost 100 years old. Well, I cannot say that it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's far away. And here, all my neighbors, they know me because I'm already crazy for them that I'm the lady from the city who moved to the village without any experience how to live in the village. And yeah, my house, by the way, it's not a normal house in the former school, which is about 1,200 square meters and 8 hectares of land. Well, which I have to, in the summertime, to cut the grass also and to cut some trees. Well, so that's why it doesn't matter if I have hat or I have no hat. Anyway, I'm crazy in their eyes.
Well, do you ever like regret any of it? Like, do you regret making changes in your life, or do you enjoy the unknown?
I was 50 years old, and somehow, actually, in the beginning, I didn't think that I will move to Estonia. I thought to buy summer cottage somewhere close to Tallinn and to go there on the weekend, because between Helsinki and Tallinn, there are a lot of boats almost every hour. It takes only about 2 hours. But somehow something went wrong, and I found this school and I fell in love with this house. So I sold my business in Helsinki and I moved here. It was some kind of challenger, of course, but I understood if I will not do it now, then later I will never do it, because already when you are 50, it's not easy to change your life so much, because it was everything totally different for me. But now, yeah, even more. 7 years I'm here. Yeah, 7 years. Yeah, 7.
Well, what did you learn about Estonia that you didn't know before? About rural life?
About everything, because first of all, because I was born in USSR in 1964, Estonia at that time, it was a Soviet Republic. And I was born in St. Petersburg, it was Leningrad at that time, and it was not so far away from Estonia. So I remember we even sometimes were going by taxi.
Right.
It was 100 rubles, I remember. Well, it also was like a salary of the Soviet engineer at the time, but you know, we were young, we were cool, and we were doing this. And then for many, many years, I never visited Estonia. Even when I lived there 20 years in Finland, And all my friends were going to Estonia weekend. For me, it was easier to fly to Thailand or somewhere else, but not to Estonia. But then somehow it's happened that I decided finally to visit Estonia, and I fall in love with this country. I don't know how to explain you. It's very cozy. I like that people, they live by their own life. It's not like, for example, I lived a long time ago in Italy. There are people, they want to know everything about you immediately, first 5 minutes. You have to tell them the whole story. Estonians, if you don't want to, they will never touch you. And they also remind me a little bit Finns, because for example, some people are thinking that Finns are very cold people, but it's not true. They just have to know you better. Right. It's not like Spanish, Italian people, they becoming your friends after 1 evening or 2 evenings. No, with Finns and Estonians, it takes time. But then if they are becoming your friends, they are becoming your friends forever. And you really can trust them, and they will help you 100% if they can. So,
well, talking about your friends, so you mentioned that like lots of times your friends will come and like model the hats from you, and I see it on Instagram that a lot of pictures is either like you with your friends or your friends modeling some of the hats. Was there like ever ideas coming from your friends, or do you feel support of them with like exploring your artistic interests and as far as hats go?
No, I cannot say this, because it just already like tradition. When I'm going to visit my friends, I'm taking my hats. Then we see at the end of the party, we have fun making pictures in my hats. The show is going on. And one of my friends here, she's an Estonian artist. She has, I remember her birthday, and I asked because I don't like to make just a present for people they don't know then later what to do with this present.
Right.
So she said, Ma, well, I like your hats. So one thing what she told me, it's about the colors, that she would like something like purple, green, la la la. So I made a hat, and she's very happy. And at home it's staying like Italians are calling this soprammobile. It's how to call it in English, like something on the furniture which is decorating your house.
Right.
Like home decor. Yeah, home decor.
I mean, when you see people wearing your hats, how does it feel? Like, are you surprised that like people take it and not use it as a home decor, but like wear it as an everyday object?
I'm very happy. I remember in Helsinki, I saw once, I already lived in Estonia, and I came to Helsinki, and I saw one lady wearing my hat. And I remember that I made this hat already a long time ago, and it was in perfect condition. Yeah, it was nice. And most of the people who buying my hats, they are also artists by themselves.
Right.
So, or they are jewelry artists, or they are making, they are like paintings or sculptures. So let's say they are a little bit different. But also normal ladies, they like my hats, because I understood that life is so boring nowadays, and all the clothes, they're coming from China nowadays, and it's all the same, plus minus. So they would like to have something more special. And then I making hats on my head, so I'm never using these head blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And my idea that you should forget that you have a hat on your head. So when people, okay, the problem is that when people have bigger hat than mine, then I have to put 2 or 3 old hats. Then I put the third hat, and I'm drying on my hat. but then it's totally different shape. Because when you're making on the hat block, it's more like a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm shaping on my hat, and you can see sometimes when you shape it, it's totally different. Here is more flat, here you have more volume, because our hat is not a ball.
Right.
And I'm only ready to sell my hat when I'm working in this hat couple hours at home, and finally, if I forget that I have hat on my head, it's ready.
Right. I mean, do you
and
have?
Then they have also to travel with me a little bit in Estonia. They have to go to the sea. They have to go to the forest. So they have to live a little bit with me. Only after this, I'm sending this to my friends.
Right. I mean, is it difficult to ship it to other places? Like, how do you transport them?
Very easy. Last year and this year, I sold a lot of hats to United States, to Italy. And look, it depends. For example, the weight is about 100, 120 grams. So even in the envelope like this, more difficult to not difficult, but you need the box. It's the hat. For example, the snails. So then I put them into the box. To United States, it was before €8 from this year, because you know everything is going up. It's about 12 or 15 euro. So anyway, it's not expensive.
Right.
And
How did you
last
find?
time it was it took only 7 days to ship from Estonia to New York.
That's amazing, actually. How do you find those customers online, like from faraway places? Like, do you advertise it mostly?
I don't look for anyone. all people, they find me through Instagram. So then they are asking me if I'm selling hats or not. That's it.
Right. Have you ever had any negative experience with selling to somebody and like they not liking it and trying to return it or something like that?
Until now, never. Because first, if I'm making the hat by the order, yeah, I never ask people some down payment or that they should buy this hat. So I have agreements with them. If they don't like this hat, and if they will not like this hat, they can send this hat back. Only they will lose delivery money. That's it. Well, as I remember, no, I never had any problem.
Right. Is it hard for you to part with the hats? Like when you make them and then you sell them and you have to ship them to somebody, is it hard for you because you put so much of yourself into making of that hat?
Like my business is true. Sometimes, you know, also some hats I really cannot make even a little bit similar because that's 100% unique. For example, this hat which I have now, you can turn it around. I don't know if you can see. So I will never make the same hat again. So I decided that this I will keep for myself for sure. Even snails, they always different. I never making them exactly the same. So, or the snail will be higher or it will be bigger. And I like to make hats. I never making because I have to make, or if I'm in the good mood, I'm making hat. If not, it's better I will take pause for a couple of days, then I'll continue.
Right. I mean, how often does that happen that you're not in the mood to make something? Like, is it usually like every day that you're making?
I would like to make them more, but unfortunately, I have not enough time because I have 3 dogs, I have a cat, I have this huge house. So I have to take care of everything. And then I have to make hats. And also I have to continue reconstruction of this house. not reconstruction, let's say renovation. So,
Right.
so that's why I cannot say that I'm sometimes in the bad mood. It's really very rare. But just I'm sometimes tired.
Right.
If I have to clean the snow, this winter, for example, was very cold. We had a lot of snow. So I had to clean all the time snow just to drive out, because otherwise I couldn't drive my car out. And of course, after 2-3 hours cleaning the snow, sorry, but I'm not able to make hats.
Right. Well, I saw one of the videos where you're saying like, why do I need a hat on my head so that I can jump into the snow? And you like in the bathing suit, just diving into the snow. Like there's a lot of videos of you where you obviously don't take yourself very seriously. Like, is that the same approach with the hat, that like it's just part of the like not taking the world very seriously?
I was too serious all my life. When I was in the, let's say, more men business than ladies business. But now I decided why I want to be a child, because even I had no childhood. I was born in the family of scientists, and I had to spend my childhood with physics, mathematics, and it was total disaster. I had not the childhood, but I had the timetable.
Right.
Finally, now I have time for myself. I can do what I want. So, and I'm enjoying.
Right. How did COVID affect your business side of your life?
I tell you the truth, I didn't notice it, because when my friends asking me about this isolation, I said, I already 7 years living here in this house, totally isolated from the rest of the world. But before, a lot of friends were coming to visit me. A long time ago, I was living in Germany, so I have a lot of friends in Germany. They were coming before very often. And I love them because, you know, Germans, they like to organize everything. Alice and Ordnung, they are this kind of people who really can take care of everything. Then my friends from Mexico were the last who visited me before COVID, and it was also funny because they my former business partners. They decided to take a look at the Eastern Europe, and when they just left me, it was the beginning of COVID, and they got stuck in Lithuania. They were really totally in panic, and they were very lucky that Lufthansa organized them the last flight from Europe to Mexico to Cancun, because then the borders were closed. So.
Right. Well, what's your dream for this business? Like, where do you see it growing?
Well, my ideas with this house in the beginning was to make some like space for the artists. If the artists who live in the big cities like Paris or London, and they totally get crazy, they could come here because it's nice and quiet. You can walk around naked here in the garden and just relax and make some paintings or some other work, whatever. Then I had an idea maybe to make some kind of the selfie museum. Well, actually, you know, I all the time have different ideas. I don't know what finally will be, because now I start also to make some furniture. Whimsical furniture, painting strange colors. Maybe you saw the Christmas chair on my Instagram page. So it was the first baby which I made. So I don't know, actually. I just enjoying my life. My babies, animals, my garden, my house, and I stopped making plans because as you can see, life is so funny nowadays. You never know what can happen tomorrow. For example, now the situation with COVID, who could imagine before that it will happen? I'm living by this moment.
Right. Have you ever considered writing a book with like all your hats?
All my friends who know me for many, many years, they telling me that one day I should write the book about my life, but not about hats. Maybe one day I will do this. I also have an idea in one of the rooms downstairs, because so you imagine it's a school, and I have a lot of big spaces here, gym and some huge really classes. To make in one room the mini Kankan Hats Museum, and the name will be the dancing hat. So the idea is like this. For example, the hats are, it will be dark, everything black, and the hats will be on some sticks, black sticks, so you will see only the hat, and it will be the music, and they will dance like this. And so how I see this, for example, because I'm making them different style of hats, some shamanic hats, for example, like this one, or autumn hats. Yeah. So, for example, one corner autumn hats, and then it's lights in the corner and the music, so you can sit on the chair. It's some kind of meditation, and these hats are dancing, and you're listening to this music. Then the other corner, the other it's switch on the light on the other hats, like shamanic hats, and it's crazy shamanic music. So something like this, I don't know. So that's why I start to keep some hats for myself.
Right.
Because before I was selling them almost all, but finally I figured out that I would like to have my private collection.
Well, I mean, if you look at your life backwards, right? Would you ever like imagine where you like find yourself today?
No, never, never. That's a couple days ago we were discussing this with my friends, because I was very public person, and when I was young, I was a very party person. I was traveling a lot. I never could sit on one place for a long time. Changing countries, changing business, changing husbands, changing all the time something. And I'm surprised by myself now that I'm 7 years sitting here quiet in this house with my animals, making hats, furniture, jewelry. And then I start also growing some things. I never had even one flower in my house before. Now I have flowers everywhere.
Well, do you think like you are happier? Like, do you think like you're happier now than you were in your youth?
Yeah, much. Well, also difficult to say if I'm more happy or not. At that time, during my youth, I was happy. That's why I was doing this kind of life, because it was making me happy. And I never could imagine how people can live in the village or the countryside, never. But now maybe I was maybe so tired of being so active.
Right.
That I like it now. And I'm first time in my life now live without men also. Before I was married all the time, somehow, you know, from marriage to marriage. And last time I divorced with my husband 3 years ago. And 3 years, the first time in my life, I'm alone. And you know what? I like it. I like it, really.
Right. Well, I mean,
never could imagine before that it can be so nice.
right.
Well,
Have you ever considered teaching classes of like how to make hats? Do you think people can be taught?
I had this before COVID. And I don't know how to explain. It was not like just felting course or making hat course. Usually, it was a group of friends, 3, 4 ladies um, from different countries, doesn't matter. They were coming here. I have enough space for accommodation, pretty good quality accommodation, so shower, toilets, everything, sauna. And we were making hats. We were eating eco food from my neighbors because all my neighbors are farmers with eco food. Then in the summertime, I have a lot of different berries growing here, like black currant and red currant, gooseberries. So eating these berries, and from 15 kilometers from my house, it's a beautiful Estonian resort, Pärnu. It's really beautiful old city. It's not city, town.
Right.
And with nice embankment, with some nice little coffee shops and restaurants. So it was like a holidays, and at the same time hat course. And also I was trying to teach people how to get rid of the complexes, because many women, they would like to wear something like this, but they are shy.
Right.
They're thinking, oh, what my husband will say. Actually, husbands, they don't like my hat. Oh, really. And all friends, what my neighbors will say. And I was trying to explain how the crazy hat, it can give you freedom, a lot of freedom. Just put it on, smile, and go.
Right.
Simple like this.
Well, I love your attitude at this. Like, I love what you know what, honestly, like the thing that I love about you is the fact that you're not afraid to show the wild side of yourself, and you're not afraid to change your life, and you're showing others the ways to do it, because like when they see you, maybe it gives them courage to be just a little bit more outrageous in their lives and try some interesting things, you know.
You know what I noticed? That a lot of people on Instagram, especially the first year of coronavirus, because people that were in the cities, they were totally depressed. They start to follow me, and I start to make more funny videos. But it was a long time ago. Maybe you didn't see, like belly dancer 2000 in the gas mask with the toilet paper, and some other bullshit like this. And people, they wrote me, oh, thank you very much, because when we look at your page, then we have better mood, and we are not so depressed. So
Right.
I think the people, they just need more fun in their life.
Right. Well, I'm
Most
gonna
of the
put
people, they're too serious.
right. I'm gonna put all the information to how to find you in the description of this video. So hopefully more people can take a look at your hats, and maybe it's gonna bring smile to their lives as well. And perhaps you're gonna get some new customers that way. And I loved having you on my channel. Thank you so much for agreeing to be my guest today.
Okay, Irina. Thank you. It was really very nice to chat with you. Yeah, take care, dear.
Thank you.
Bye.